topic is watch your mouth. We could have unknowingly said something out of our mouths that could have caused spiritual warfare or attacks. So, a while ago, I had this dream that I was in a car with somebody and they were driving and I was riding passenger. And they said something that was blasphemous, meaning a lack of respect to God. They said something relating to all the storms and battles that they faced in their life. They got themselves out of it, and basically they had it all together, and God don't help them through battles or storms. So right after they said that, the car started swerving. And I'm looking like, I gotta get out this car with you. I don't know what you got going on. So when I woke up, I started meditating and I was led to the book of Isaiah, chapter 40, verse 4. And it says from the Easy Read version, every valley must be filled. Every mountain and hill should be made flat. The crooked roads should be made straight and the rough ground made smooth. So what that means is by every valley should be filled. A valley is a low place. So them low places is going to be filled. Every mountain and hill should be made flat. Mountain and hills are high places. Those high places are going to be made low. So when you puff yourself up, you get humbled, if that makes sense. The low places will be filled and the high places will be made low. The crooked roads will be made straight. So we started swerving after that person said that in that dream. So it said all them crooked places will be made straight. So if you wavering, if you this or that, and you dabbling in and back and forth and you kind of straddling the fence and you don't know, you will be made straight. You're going to be direct. You will know without a shadow of a doubt who God is. And it said the rough grounds will be made smooth. Now this is why we have to watch our mouth. The book of Genesis. So God created humans in his own image. He created them to be like himself. He created them male and female. God blessed them and said to them, have many children, fill the earth and take control of it. Rule over the fish in the sea and the birds in the air. Rule over every living thing that moves on the earth. So God created humans in his own image. He created us to be like him, to be like himself. So number one, that means it's hereditary. It's in our bloodline. It's been passed down to us genetically. So in case you ask, what is it that has been passed down genetically? What is in our bloodline? If God created us to be like him, well, what is him? Well, one is in the senses, God created us. So God creates. So what's in our bloodline is to create. We can go to the beginning to see what the others are. And we still talking about watch your mouth. We have not got off subject yet. So in Genesis, the first chapter, verse 3, this the first day. It said, then God said, let there be light. God said, that's why we need to watch our mouth, because we created in his image. And he said, let there be light, and the light began to shine. Now going down to still in chapter 1, verses 6 to 7, this is the second day. Then God said, let there be space to separate the water into two parts. So God made the space and separated the water. Coming down to verse 9, this is the third day. It says, then God said, let the water under the sky be gathered together so that the dry land will appear. And it happened. Then God said, let the earth grow grass, plants that make grains, and fruit trees. The fruit trees will make fruit with seeds in it, and each plant will make its own kind of seed. Let these plants grow on the earth. And it happened. Moving down to the fourth day, this verse 14 through 15, it say, then God said, let there be light in the sky. These lights will separate the days from the nights. They will be used for signs to show when special meetings begin and to show the days and years. Verse 15 say, they will be in the sky to shine light on the earth, and it will happen. Coming down to verse 21, it say, then God said, let the water be filled with many living things, and let there be birds to fly in the air over the earth. So God created the large sea animals. He created all the many living things in the sea, and every kind of bird that flies in the air. And God saw that it was good. On the 6th day, coming down to verse 24, it say, then God said, let the earth produce many kind of living things. Let there be many different kind of animals. Let there be large animals and small crawling animals of every kind. And let all these animals produce more animals, and all these things happened. So verse 26 said, then God said, now let's make humans who will be like us. So for those who ask, who is us? God said, now let's make humans who will be like us. Who is us? Who was with God in the beginning? Us is the Holy Trinity, the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. So God created humans in his own image. He created them to be like himself. He created male and female. He blessed them, told them to have a lot of kids, fill the earth, and take control of it. Rule over the fish, over the birds, and every living thing that move on the earth. And guess what? All of it happened. So back to his image. What is his image? Not only was his image to create, but it was, this is what I want to do. And it was done. So his image is also power, control, and to rule. And he gave us the same authority. Power, control, to rule, and authority. So the definitions of these. Authority is the power or right to give order, make decisions, and enforce obedience. The definition of power is the capacity or the ability to direct, influence the behavior of others or the course of events. The meaning of control is the power to influence or direct people's behavior or the course of events. And the definition of rule is to exercise the ultimate power or authority over an area and its people. And the synonyms that popped up for rule is to be in control, to lead, to direct, and to regulate. So this why we don't need the voodoo, the hoodoo, the candle works, because all the power is what proceeds out of our mouth. So we going to Matthew chapter 7 verse 20, and coming from two different translations. This is the Amplified version, and it says, he answered, because of your little faith, your lack of trust and confidence in the power of God, for I assure you and most solemnly say to you, if you have little faith the size of a mustard seed, you will say to this mountain, move from here to there, and if it's God's will, it will move, and nothing will be impossible for you. Now this is the easy read version. It says, Jesus answered, you were not able to make the demon go out because your faith is too little. Believe me when I tell you, if your faith is only as big as a mustard seed, you can say to this mountain, move from here to there, and it will move. You will be able to do anything. So how many of us going through a storm or something as big as a mountain? You got the power, you got the authority to tell that storm to calm down, and you can tell that big thing in your life, that mountain, tell that thing to move. Get out the way. You got the power, you got the authority to do so. Now we going to Proverbs 18:21. Two different translations. Amplified version say, death and life are in the power of the tongue, and those who love it and indulge in it will eat its fruits and bear the consequences of their words. Easy read version says, the tongue can speak words that bring life or death. Those who love to talk must be ready to accept what it brings. So, good or bad, ugly or sad, your words are seeds, and God honors your words. So think about this. When you laughing and you saying, oh, I'm dead, remember, good or bad, ugly or sad, it's power in your mouth. Even I tell my kids, we have to pay attention to our kids when they playing the video games, and they Call of Duty and they talking about somebody done killed them. You have to watch what you say. I tell my kids to say you lost or something, or use a different terminology. But my brain cannot take you making the wrong confessions out of your mouth. And another thing I wanted to add, let the church hurt go. You can't blame God based on how humans let you down. God didn't do that to you. But closing out, I don't want y'all to take my word for it. I encourage everybody who listening to read the Bible for themselves. All the slavery talk about the Bible keeping us enslaved, My question is, what Bible are you reading? Because my Bible don't read like that. Don't believe the hype. We were enslaved because our people were ignorant. Let's go and rip the band-aid off. Tell it how it is. Our people were ignorant. That's why we were enslaved. Much of still like what's happening today. They actually kept the Bible from our people because they didn't want us to know who we actually were. So when it comes to slavery, would you allow for somebody to tell you what to do and chain whoop you like you can't chain whoop them back? Just pure ignorance. So freedom came from a decision. Being brave and fighting back. Somebody said, I ain't having this no more. And I'm going to fight back, whether that means me being dead or alive. And not to be prejudiced or cause division, because I only believe in one race, and that's the human race. But the only power that the Caucasians had was unity, and they knew who they were. And that's something that we lacked. Whether they used their powers for good or bad, they stuck together. And they knew that they had authority. Now, they abused their authority and used it for bad, but they knew who they were. And that's what our people lacked. Much like what still goes on today. So yeah, family, use the brain that God gave you. Walk in your authority and your power to control and to rule. And remember, watch your mouth. And that's all I got on Watch Your Mouth.